Welcome to your first lesson within Simplified Scaling. And like I said, client success systems, they're the most important system within your business. And as we work through this week, I think you will start to see why it's so important. You'll be able to audit your own client success system, or if you don't have one yet, you're going to be able to build it from the ground up to make sure that you have all of your pieces in place. Because we want to deliver the most amazing experience to those who have made the investment, right? We want to honor that they have made a commitment to work with us. We don't want people to sign up and be like, what did I just get for the money I spent, right? We want to provide that value. Whatever you did within your marketing or within any part of your sales process, we want to make sure that what we said we were going to do, we're going to do it. And if possible, we're going to go above and beyond, because this is how we create raving fans. This is how we, have strong retention rates where clients go through the first set, right? Whether that's a certain level of one-on-one coaching, a certain program, a certain membership, whatever it is, or if you're a service provider, maybe they sign on for a smaller package. But when we make sure that we have a strong client success system in place, this is when we get to take them to the next step. Because we want clients to stay with us, right? We want to continue working with them as they, whatever it is, as depend on your business, as they work towards that goal. It could be their life, life related things, health and fitness. It could be business. There's so many different products out there, but think to yourself, what is the next step and how can I make this first step so amazing that they know they want to continue working with me even once they hit their current goals. So today we're going to talk about the client journey and we're going to map it out. So you'll find a document in here. You're going to want to go into that document, make a copy into your Google Drive, and start working through this for your own business. And the reason I like to do this is it helps us really visualize the process that clients are going through as they interact with our business. Now, this week, what we're going to do is we're going to go through everything from that first discovery call or sales call or conversation. And it's okay if you don't have that, but if you do, that's where we're going to start. Now, if you're on an evergreen launch plan, you might not have those in place, and that's fine, but we still want to understand, where do they start? Where is their first interaction with us? So we can make sure that we really analyze what that experience is like. So when you look at this document, you're going to have the different journey stages. So we have awareness. We want to understand how clients first become aware of our service, our product, our program, us, right? We need to see where they're interacting first. Now, it could be social media. Maybe it's an online search if you have really strong Google rankings. It could be a referral, which those are excellent because they've already built trust by someone else saying, hey, you should work with this person, right? Anytime we receive a referral, we automatically have more trust within whatever it is that they're offering. Maybe you're running paid ads. Maybe you have, content going out on Pinterest. There's so many options here, I can't list them all, but we want to understand, where is that first point? And then from there, are they going to a website? Are we taking them to a freebie landing page? Are we taking them to a blog post or a free training? Or maybe it's our Facebook group, right? So we want to map this out, and you can map it out within your Google Doc. You can make a pretty, map within Canva. You can draw on a notebook, on a whiteboard, whatever works for you, but start to actually visualize what they are going through. Now, a pain point here we want to be aware of, and we want to, start thinking about, reflecting on, is, are they going to become overwhelmed with information? Or are they going to struggle to understand our unique value proposition? And if we put, it's a fine line. We want to put enough information out there where it's clear what they are receiving, what we teach, what resources we have, whatever that looks like for you. But we don't want to put so much out there that it's confusing. And we don't want to make, it confusing or have them have multiple steps to try to find whatever resource they were looking for, right? We want to simplify. So I do want you to think about what are some of these main touch points that people are seeing when they come in contact with you. How many steps do they have to take to either, send you a message or book a discovery call or a sales call or download a freebie, whatever that is. Think like, how can we simplify this so they don't have to click as much, right? We want to make it very smooth, easy, make it a no-brainer. And this is why we're going to write it out. We want to simplify everything that we present and clearly communicate our unique value proposition so that, we move on to that next stage, which is consideration. So in consideration, this is when the clients are going to evaluate working with us. They're going to think about, the service you provide or your program or your one-on-one coaching. And they're going to start comparing their options. And they're going to compare different programs that you have on your website. They may be comparing what you have to someone else. Comparisons can be all across the board, and don't get so stuck on comparisons, but just know this is a process that they're going to go through within this journey. They might be reading reviews. So whether you have, reviews on Google or your Facebook, or you have testimonials on your website page or testimonials on social, we want to provide them with that feedback from people who have worked with us. And if you haven't had clients before, that's okay. You can start talking about your own experience. What have you been able to achieve in your past roles or within your business, and provide that for them to help them through this consideration phase. Now, if you do have an online course, or if you're selling a software or anything where you can create a demo, that's also something for you to consider, because people like to visualize what they're going to receive. Now, you don't have to show them all your templates, because that's part of their purchase, but you can show them, maybe it's the online portal where they can see how many templates are listed, whatever that looks like. And demos aren't going to work for every business model, but it's something for you to consider. And then maybe at this point, they start attending your free launch events, right? Those conversion events. They want to get to know you. They want to understand how you teach, what value you bring to the table, what your style is, right? As far as interacting with clients. So this is another step within the consideration phase. So those who sign up for your free conversion events are in this stage, most likely. Some might be a little bit further along and they just want to attend your event because they're interested in the topic, and that's great as well, because they will be closer to making that decision. Now, within this, we do have to understand some clients or customers are going to have trust issues, okay? So if they've been in the online world before, or even just, other experiences they've had, they may question whether what you say you're going to provide is what you're going to provide. And so the more that we can provide them with that security that we are going to deliver on what we promise, the better. Because a lot of us have been burned in the online world, and that it's very real. And so we do have to be cautious and just be careful with your language as they're, in this stage, right? We don't want to make them feel guilty or feel shame for where they're at. Rather, we want them to understand some of the pain points they have and why our solutions, are going to help them. And so just be aware of that as you're going through your mapping here. And then they're going to move on to the decision stage. And this is when they're going to decide whether or not they're going to sign up with you, right? Whether or not they're going to make that investment in your service, your product, your program, your coaching. And here it might, free trials, those are even going to be included in this, right? Because they're making that decision to check it out. And a free trial, it can kind of overlap into a consideration phase, but technically they are signing up for something. And most likely if they don't cancel, they're going to start having that reoccurring charge. Maybe they're going to reach out to you. They're going to let you know that they're ready, or they're just going to click that button in the email. They're going to sign up, or they're going to request a proposal if you're a service provider. They're going to say, I'm ready to make this decision. Can you go ahead and send over that proposal to me? I'd like, to review the contract, whatever that looks like. That would all be part of this stage within the journey. Now, At this stage is when they're going to start, you'll start getting some of the price objections. And so you can prepare yourself ahead of time for either putting some of the objections that you know you've gotten before, speak to those within your sales page, speak to those within a discovery call, start talking about the value and how, whatever, all those objections are going to be different, but how that value kind of overcomes those objections, because you are at some point going to experience that. Now, anxiety can also come up here too, even if they haven't been burned in the past. If they are making a large investment, so if it's your main offer, it's over $1,000, they might have they might feel hesitant, right? And just be prepared for that. We don't want to be so salesy and so pushy that they're just like, I'm out. But we do want to have follow up at this stage. We don't want to just let them think forever, right? We want to ask them, do you have some questions? Or start nurturing them into a downsell at this point if there's so much anxiety and so many price objections that maybe it's just not the right time. And we'll talk about your A to B method later and how we can use those downsales to eventually move them into the main offer. And then we have onboarding. So this piece is absolutely crucial within the system. And this is why I say this is the most important system in your business. Now, they've made the investment, they're excited, they just want to get going. Okay, they want to either, start their coaching, have you provide your service, they want to enroll in your program, start watching your training videos, whatever that is. We need to make sure that they have everything needed to be able to do this. Their account is set up. They have some initial trainings they can go in and watch. They understand how to access support, okay? They know when your next call is, or they know how to schedule that call. And through this week, we're gonna break down each of these pieces into more depth. But right now we're just going over, a high level overview as you map this out so that when you go into the in-depth pieces this week, you can look and see what your piece looks like, or if you even have that piece set up. We want to make sure we have welcome emails, and these can be automated through your, course platforms. These can be sent manually. So if you're a service provider, maybe you are sending these manually, but you need to have systems in place to make sure these get sent, and they get sent as soon as possible. Obviously, if you don't work Saturday and Sunday in your business, someone signs up on Saturday and Sunday, you're going to send it on Monday, right? And as long as you have clearly explained these boundaries and set the expectations on your discovery call, that is absolutely okay. This is why we want to also make sure that we have clear communication. So people don't think I'm going to sign up with you on Saturday at 12 and by 2 o'clock, I'm going to have you rolling and working on my stuff. Unless that's an agreement you made, most likely that's not going to happen. So we need to set those expectations. Now, we do have to have patience with clients here, especially when it comes to tech. Sometimes the tech doesn't work. Sometimes they don't understand the tech. So even if you think, well, I've sent this link to them like 5 times, send it again with a smile. Okay. They've made this investment and we're going to honor them. Obviously, you can be aware of like scope creep if you're a service provider, but when it comes to just getting access to things, work with them. If people are really struggling and you're starting to see, man, everyone's struggling to log into my course platform, maybe I should record a Loom video and include it in the welcome email that walks them through, right? So when we start seeing a lot of tech issues, a lot of, if there's a steep learning curve in certain areas of our offering, that should tell us that we are not providing the information that's needed. And we need to find more ways to help communicate that to our clients. I also am a huge fan of onboarding guides or, any kind of roadmaps that you can send out to your clients, regardless of your business structure, just so they can understand what's next. How is this going to work? So if you run an agency, when are they going to start seeing some of the, let's say it's a website. When do they get to see the first draft of your website? Or when is that, first call going to happen so that you can do your website development kickoff, right? Whatever that is for you, figure out how you can put that into some kind of onboarding guide. And if you have a course, maybe it's a really pretty Canva template that you just, download and share as a PDF. If you're a service provider, you might have to go in and edit things before you send it. So maybe it's just a Google Doc. It doesn't matter as long as we are providing very clear communication to them on what they can expect. If you are a service provider or you're a one-on-one coach, clearly providing expectations around your office hours is huge, and response times, which we'll go into in more depth as well. And as you go through this, we want to respond to our clients, right? We want to not only communicate that response time, but make sure that you have a system in place where your team is checking that support email every day, or you are checking that support email every day, or you're checking your Voxer or whatever it is. If we say we're going to do something, we need to do it. And we can't just rely on our memory to make sure we're going in there and doing it. And we're going to go over project management, but that is something we're going to set up in our project management system, that we have daily reminders to do whatever we have promised our clients to make sure we are following through. So you've onboarded them, they're going to go through your program. We're going to have, check-ins in place, which we'll go over this week. And then they're going to come to the end of the program. And this is where we want to focus on retention, right? We want them to go to the next step in our product suite, or maybe it's another course that just, helps them build a different area of their business or focus on a different area of health and fitness, right? So from here, we want to start this before they're done, right? They're done with the course. We want to invite them before it ends, right? Like, you're doing great. Or if you're a coach, you can talk about where they're at, how much they've achieved. As long as we're honest, we want to be transparent. We don't want to try to manipulate them in this. If we haven't given them enough to actually see progress, the next step might not be for them. Maybe it's you continue doing what you're doing. So just be realistic and honor your clients by knowing where they're at when it comes to transition or retention. Now, depending on how you have your platform set up, you might have automatic renewals. So maybe after 3 months, they're going to pay again. We want to make sure that we always tell people it's coming up. Even if when they signed up 3 months ago, it was on the page, it said every 3 months, it's just kind to let our clients know, hey, this is going to happen again. Now, if it's every single month and that was very clear on the sign up page, you don't have to remind them every single month it's coming out. Unless it's a very large amount, then I would give them a heads up, because some people need to check their bank accounts, make sure they have the right credit card on file. But you'll be able to understand from your client feedback what you need to be doing within that part of your system. At this point, it's a great opportunity for you to also ask for testimonials and for referrals. And if you have an affiliate program, you can invite them into that affiliate program. So that can also be part of your retention, where maybe they're not going to work with you further, but they might bring 3 more people in who you would truly benefit, because those 3 people are where this current client was when they first started working with you. And again, here, we want to be clear, we want to be kind and listen, right? We want to ask for feedback all the time. Did they receive what they expected? What was their experience like? Because this is going to allow us to better our programs or our services for future clients. And the more that we listen to our current clients, the more our future clients are going to have this exceptional experience, again, which is going to build our authority, our reputation. More referrals are going to come in, and it benefits everyone all around. Okay, so as you work through this mapping journey, just however you want to do it, you can print out the Word doc or the Google Doc. You could just make notes in your own. You could write it on a notebook, whatever that looks like for you. I do encourage you to literally write down every single step. And, if there are certain resources involved, double check how they are receiving that resource or the onboarding guide or your Calendly link, whatever it is. Double check that's actually happening, and then make notes. How does that happen? Is it a trigger within your system? Is it your team sending it out? If it's your team sending it out, are they just doing it because you sent them a Slack message? Or are they doing it because the project management system has reminded them that this is part of the onboarding process and something that they are responsible for? So the more detailed we can get in this, the better it is. And again, eventually we will want to move this into a visual map or some kind of more formal flow so that we can share it with our team, and then we will take that and build it into our project management system. But I like to have you write this out before putting the project management system, because it's easy to forget all these tiny pieces that are involved when we're just thinking about it from a high level perspective. And when we think, oh, they make a sale, we send them a welcome email, they get a Calendly link, whatever that looks like. If we just do those big pieces, we're going to miss a lot of the little pieces within our system. So please take the time to map this out. And then after you are done mapping this out, go ahead and continue on in this module, and we're going to dive in to these smaller pieces and what you need to make sure you have included. So again, if you have any questions, send me a Voxer message on your particular Voxer day. You can find out all that information within the welcome module, and let me know if you have any questions. Let me know where you're stuck, or we can just brainstorm together. So I hope that was helpful. I hope you have fun mapping out your client journey. Sometimes as you're doing this, you're going to think of new ideas, or you'll think back to other courses or other programs you've been. You're like, oh, I really want to add this. It's a great opportunity. You can just make a note, like, this is not actually in your system yet, but this is something that you're going to include in the future. All right, so that is all for today, and we will be back tomorrow.